As you may or may not know, my wife and I just got back from Vegas. It was a great trip. We ate, we drank, we had a blast. But then we got home and looked at the credit card, and I gotta say, it doesn't matter how much fun you're having, $25 for a drink is a ripoff. Frickin' Vegas. I hate getting ripped off, and so do the lads over at Harry's. They spent years watching the razor blade companies rip people off and said, no more. Not all heroes wear capes, my friends, and they want to prove that they're legit by offering you hot dogs a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. I've been telling you about them for months, and I'm genuinely proud to have Harry's as a sponsor of this show. I wasn't kidding. The plastic, futuristic-looking crap razors you get at the store are overpriced and they're poor quality. Harry's blades are crisp, clean, and classy. They're the kind of razor you'd expect your grandpa to have on his bathroom counter. And most importantly, they work. Shave after shave, they're so smooth, they're precise. I used to go through the crappy store blades all the time, but Harry's are built to last. And they're not just better quality than the other names, they're more affordable. And they deliver. Just set your schedule, and for as little as $2, new blades, shaving creams, lotions, everything you need, right to your door when you need it. I genuinely cannot think of a reason not to try Harry's. And I'm not just saying this because they're sponsors. They're the best shaving supplies I've ever used. Try them out, and if you're not happy, your shave's on them. And unlike the other subscriptions, they're really easy to cancel if you want to too, which is a nice bonus, but believe me, you're not going to want to cancel. Getting ripped off isn't funny. Switch to Harry's. Get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. That's harrys.com/RTG for a $3 trial set. Remember the Game is brought to you by my website, abcomedy.net. You can find all the old episodes of both of my podcasts, my daily blog, and all of my upcoming comedy show dates there. And if you're looking for a comedian for your Christmas party, fundraiser, house party, private event, whatever, you can contact me through my website as well. Again, that's abcomedy.net. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to it and please leave us a review. There'll be a new episode every single Wednesday. Thanks for your support. I hope you guys enjoy the show. How do you choose just one song from this game? I scrolled the internet and I listened to like half a dozen of them, and then finally I was like, I'll just stick with the title track because I can spread it out for like 3 different times, and it's like 3 different songs. The music in this game is so good, you guys. What is up? Welcome back to Remember the Game, episode 7, Final Fantasy 6. I know some people call it Final Fantasy 3. Blah, blah, blah. 3 or 6 is perfectly acceptable, but we all know it's actually Final Fantasy 6. And if you don't know for whatever reason, but you're still listening to this, when this game was initially released in North America, it was released as Final Fantasy 3 on the Super Nintendo because a bunch of the other Final Fantasies never made their way over from Japan. It is technically the 6th Final Fantasy game, so for all rights and purposes or whatever, we're going to call it Final Fantasy 6. This is a hell of a game, you guys. This was when I posted on Facebook and stuff, originally looking for guests for this podcast. This was in the top 3 probably games people asked to do, along with Turtles in Time and some game I've never heard. You know, you've probably never heard of. It's called Chrono Trigger, which is coming in a future episode. So just for every time someone messages me, it's Chrono Trigger. I'm like, it's coming, I promise. Final Fantasy 6 is awesome. I'm not going to waste a lot of time in this intro or give you too many of my thoughts because my buddy Miklos and I break it down pretty thoroughly. This is probably the longest episode of this podcast I've recorded so far. All I will say, and I can't remember if I said it when we recorded the podcast, is because we did it a couple weeks ago, I played through this game for the second time in my life over the last month getting ready for this podcast. And so it almost felt fresh because I hadn't played it in so long and I didn't know it that well. And it deserves all the praise that it gets. It is absolutely incredible. If you've never played it, get out there and play it. It's available on everything. I think you can get it on your phone. So, and it's one you could probably play on your phone because you don't really need hard controls to play it. Touchscreen will work just fine. It's an RPG. Okay, I'm not going to waste a lot of your time. I'll get to my chat with Mick. I know I've already said I'm not going to waste your time like 3 times, and here I am wasting your time. Oh, I'm slowly getting better at this. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast and everything. If you're one of the weekly people that keep coming back and you enjoy it, please tell a friend. Please leave us a review. I'd really appreciate it. My numbers are good and the feedback's been great, and I'm really enjoying doing this podcast. So thank you all for the kind words and the support. And without further ado, let's go talk some Final Fantasy VI. Here we go. I played through it once, probably about 10 years ago, and then I'm like, dude, right before you got here, I'm so close to finishing it again. Like, I was like fucking, like, I almost burnt my dinner. I was just like marathoning, trying to, like, I'm in Kefka's Tower. Okay. I got one of the statues beat. Like, we're doing the Switch thing to try to get everyone through the 3 parties.
Do you have a shitty party with Mog and the Moogle charm where you can just like walk through everything?
Well, I do have shitty Mog, but I have like. I don't know. I fucking grinded too much.
Okay.
I think, which I kind of enjoy in RPGs because I like being a fucking...
This is a good one to grind too.
It is, yeah. And I like being like a hoss that just storms through everything. And that's where like all 3 of my teams have 2 or 3 people that know Ultima.
Okay.
And so all I do is I have the relic that makes stuff cost one MP.
Yeah.
And then the X magic one.
Yeah. So you can cast every line twice. Yeah.
So I just keep switching it to whatever team I'm controlling, and then just like Ultima. And then on one of the teams, I have that fucking weird go-go guy.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
And he sucks, but he can mimic. So you put him up right after, you just use him right after the Ultima guy, and now you cast Ultima 4 times.
Yeah.
I'm just storming it now.
Yeah.
I just ran out of time.
He's so good. He's like, his stats kind of suck, but like, you can like get him to learn everyone else's stuff too, right? Like, he doesn't just do mime.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's all I've been doing with him. This is the first time I used him. In one of my 3 parties. Like, because you go get him, and he's pretty well the last character you get. Or at least it was the last character I got.
He was one of the last characters I got, but as soon as I got him, he's so useful. Because, like I said, you can just like go and select a bunch of... You could be like, oh man, I'm gonna use like the blitz attacks, and then like also tools. So you can have both use like Edgar and Sabin's moves.
Oh, and he'll mimic those?
No, he'll just use them. He doesn't have to mimic them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just knows them.
Oh, fuck, I didn't know that.
So like you could give him like fight and item or magic, and then like make him learn all this stuff. But yeah, I know you can go and get him to learn.
Dude, there's so much to do. Okay, like for the record, you can call it Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 6. Just so we're not doing the weird thing. Yeah. We're like, which one is it? I don't care. Fucking say whatever you want. My favorite Final Fantasy is 2 or 4 or whatever.
Okay.
6 is so, like, I forgot about, especially once you go to the world of Ruin.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The world, like, after Kefka fucks it all up. I didn't realize just how open world it is.
It's, you get there, and as soon as you get, I'm going to blank on his name, but the gambler guy.
Setzer,
yeah. As soon as you get him, you have the airship, and there's no stopping you from doing whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
except for some of the dungeons are just really fucking hard.
Yeah, like you have to, because you get stuck with Celeste.
Celeste, yeah.
And then you get Sabin back, and then you get Edgar back. Because Sabin's in that town where he's holding the roof, and then Edgar, you go get his castle, and then once you get Setzer in the fucking airship, it's all hands on deck. Do whatever you want.
You ever do the cheat at the beginning of the game if you have like a turbo controller?
No.
Okay, there's a part where you split into 3 different stories, and you can choose to do whatever you want. If you do the raft one first, there's a spot where it'll always ask you to go up, but it'll just go around a circle.
Okay.
So you can, if you have a turbo controller, you can just set it and like put an elastic band around A or whatever, and just go, like, leave it on, and
fuck! And you won't die?
you won't die as you because you can go into your settings and put everything to set like you don't. It's not the same every. So it's this. You make the same choices all the time.
So you said that old guy.
I had to heal every single time, and you can get your guys to like. Well, you can get Ultima in the first world because Terra will learn Ultima at like level 90 something.
Yeah, I was reading that. I literally was just reading that before you got here. I didn't realize because she's like, I guess 2 or 3 of the characters or something learn magic as you go.
Yeah.
I never realized that.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I never knew that. Well, I didn't have a turbo controller.
I heard, but I never done it because it takes like 3 days of not playing the game. And that just is too much for me.
Yeah, I don't know how.
But you could get Ultima, fight Kefka in the first world, use it on him, and like just destroy him, and then there's like no more story.
Oh fuck!
It's supposed to be like I might not be true. I never tried it myself.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But you can also get a different ending from going straight to the tower.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Like when you get once you get Setzer.
Dude, that's pretty. It's I like. See, I prefer linear RPGs because I'm OCD and I'm always afraid I'm gonna miss something or I fucking like I've been ready to go and fight Kefka for like 3 days, but then I was like, well, I'm still missing a couple espers and I gotta get all the dragons and like finally I just was like, fuck it, I want to finish this and move on to another game.
Yeah, that's a really good game for trying to complete everything.
It is, and it's cool because like back in the day, like, did you own it as a kid? Like I never.
Yeah, I owned it.
Okay, like when you were a kid, like games like this were the best because like you only got a game every fucking like 6 months or a year or whatever, right? Like Christmas, maybe your birthday. So you get a game like this, and it like you can put that 80-90 hours in because you're like, I have nothing else to fucking play anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well grind through and get everything. There's so much to do. Like I really enjoyed like. It was almost like playing for the first time because I've only ever played it one other time.
Yeah.
It was so cool just traveling the open world, going wherever you want. Like I kept finding dragons and being like, dude, I found another dragon. Like,
you just run into them.
Right. Or like running into a character. And I was like I went to the magic tower.
Yeah.
And the old guy's walking around and I was like, holy fuck, there he is. Like this shitty old guy. What's his name? Strago,
yeah.
I thought him.
He was that character, that type of character, the blue mage, is always the hardest to do. I find right, like, because you gotta like get. I think with him you had to get hit with all of them, or
I just
right?
like
So for a lot of them you would have to like try to take control of someone and then use their special ability like on him for like, healing ones and stuff. And you're just like, how do you?
Honestly, you know what I did? Him and the little girl, Realm.
Yeah.
I just I put them in a party with 2 of my strong characters and went to the forest where the dinosaurs are and just taught them all the magic. And they're both just like they're like because I know
their magic is hella strong.
Their magic's fucking jacked. So now like because at the end of the game we split into the 3 parties. I have Strago in one party, I have Realm in a party, and I have Celeste in a party. And all 3 of them know like every spell, or at least all the good ones, like Life 3, Cure 3. Ultima, all that shit. And like really the one thing I will say about this game is if you're willing to put the time into grinding and teaching everyone the spells, it makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, it does totally.
Like, you know,
I like the concept of like they're all different characters, but then you could be like, but they all know all the magic.
Yeah, like I don't know, I like that on one hand, but I like because I played 7 well before I played this one, and I thought it was cool how you could give everyone materia, and as long as they had that materia equipped, they could use whatever spell. And then this one's almost the same thing, but it's instead of like you have to equip materia to use a spell, they just learn the fucking spell and then they have it like forever.
Yeah.
And like I on one hand I was like, dude, that's pretty sweet that everyone can be like a total badass like wizard and then also have all their other abilities. But then on the other hand, it like when everybody knows Cure 3 and Ultima and shit like that, it does make it
makes it a little bit
But it's still sweet though, and the characters are all pretty dope. Well, most of them are.
I love in the open world where you just be like, I'm going to this place, and all of a sudden you're like in a side quest for somebody's backstory, and they're like, for a game where they could only have so much writing, they fit in so much story.
They really did, yeah.
Right, like every word was important, every character was important, and in some of them, you know, like even in the World of Balance with like when you find, I want to say like Gao, the
little guy,
the little guy the feral child,
the orphan, yeah.
When you use him, he's just like so much just characters, not even like they're
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask you, like, did you do it? Because like I barely used him. Like he's not one of my 3 final parties, and I've read that if you like take the time to work with him,
he is
he's a
fucking
tank.
good. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't bother with
You
him.
got to do, yeah. That's one of the grindy things you got to do because, what is it, the Velt?
Yeah.
When you go on there, you basically have to do all of the side quests. You have to get everyone going and fight every single kind of creature, and then go to the Velt and fight them all again while he's not even in your party. He's done that little like hiding shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And you have to find them, and then it takes forever to get them. But yeah, you get some really fucking good things.
Yeah, that's what I read is like a lot of the stuff I was reading about the game, they said that the one of the characters they ranked the lowest was Cyan or Cyan.
Yeah, he's so horrible.
But it's weird because like I like him. I don't know. I taught him a bunch of magic, but then
all his stats suck. Like he's not that good of a fighter. His special ability with the sword,
his special ability is useless.
Useless.
Yeah.
And it takes so much time to build up.
It does. Yeah, yeah.
Right, to do anything good.
He's
his magic. Yeah, like I said, his magic's horrible. Like he's all around just a not good character.
Yeah, he's a poor man's Sabin.
Yeah,
is what he is. But like I still like I gave him 2 swords in the thing where he could equip a sword in each hand.
Yeah,
and he's like I don't know. He's a serviceable fucking like I have him doing about 4,000.
There's another
now.
item too, where like you can do 4 attacks.
Yeah. So yeah,
if you do both of them, then you can.
That's where I have Sabin now.
Okay.
So
well,
yeah,
that's who you should put that on.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I hope that's who you put it on, right?
Yeah.
So now he attacks 8 times.
Yeah.
Every battle. And I'm just like half the time I'll hit his like I don't use his blitzes anymore.
Yeah.
I'll hit like fight and like just pick the guys, and then I'll put it down and like pick up my phone because I'm like I'm good. And then like and now I'm to a point where like he's in the same party as not Celeste. One of my other magical users, one of those 2 kids, I think, or one of the 2 old wizard, the wizard or the kid. So like now I'll turn him loose, and then right behind him it'll be like Ultima, and then I'm like, this is easy. Like I'm good, you know. And maybe I'm breaking the game doing that, like. Well, but I enjoy that. I like powering through, you know.
Yeah.
And like it's to the point now in that last tower where like I have no need to fight anybody. Like it's boring to do the fucking like the random encounters. So I'm just trying to fucking power through and finish it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always loved when I play RPGs anyways, not using magic, just like straight fight all the time.
See now is that because I do that a lot too, except in this one. Was that because you enjoy it or because you enjoy it better, or because you're like because I'm always afraid I'll use up all my MP. And
you know, like if I'm going into a boss battle, I don't want to have like my healers or my magic users already drained.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I played a lot of tabletop games, so I played like Dungeons and Dragons and Rifts and a bunch of those ones where like you only get like 4 spells. In a dungeon. Right. And then you're like, oh well, I better not use them.
Like you can only use them one time each.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Yeah. No.
Or like you only get like it'd be the same kind of thing. Like you get like 1 level 7, like 2 level 6. Like if you're like say higher level character, but you only get so many of each of them, and that's it. Right. So like you go in, you're like maybe I can use 6 spells.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you gotta really like save them.
Yeah.
See, I'm usually like that too, where I'm like, I'll just make my mages attack because I'm afraid of burning through their MP. Same as using items. I was telling somebody else about that on here. Like, I'll fucking end a game. I have so many items on that game right now because I'm always afraid to use them.
Like X potions. You're like, why do I've never used one of these?
X potions, elixirs, like all the best items, and I'm just like, oh, I can't use that. I can't use that.
Only if I really need to.
Yeah, right? Which you'll never need to.
They sell elixirs because they're worth so much money.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I need some items. Better sell these elixirs.
Yeah, it's fucking that's it. So I'm afraid to use them too. But then I did that. The one thing I will say I really found frustrating, not even frustrating, but just like, was that fucking magic tower where you can only use magic.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like,
well, you can break that too if you give people rage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, even if you bring that Yeti Umaru.
Oh yeah, okay. See, he's the other one. So the 2 guys I left behind on the ship when I went into the tower was Gao and that fucking Sasquatch, because I didn't really get the point of them.
I thought there was 16.
I don't know. Am I missing somebody? Okay, so quick. So I have Locke. There's Locke, Sabin, Edgar, Celeste, Terra,
Yeah.
the old wizard,
Yeah.
Realm, Cyan.
Yeah.
This is hard. Mog,
Yeah.
Go-Go,
Yeah.
the Sasquatch,
Yeah.
Gao,
Yeah.
Setzer.
Yeah.
Who am I forgetting?
The assassin.
Shadow.
Shadow?
How can I forget Shadow? He's the best one.
Did you kill him?
No, I kept him.
You kept him.
I fucking made that mistake the first time I played that game, and I was reading about it, and then I was like, I'm never fucking making that mistake again. No, I think that's
Maybe
everybody.
it's 15.
Yeah, I think
Look
that's
it up.
everyone. I'm looking up. Keep talking. I'm looking to see if I'm forgetting anybody.
Sounds good.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, that fucking tower. We
Oh
have to
yeah,
use
that's
magic.
so hard, and their magic is so good, and there's like ton of reflect and just like
And then like I didn't. I was embarrassed by it, but I never thought to teach everybody Osmos.
okay,
And so then about halfway up the tower, I was running out of fucking
magic.
tinctures.
Oh yeah,
And magic, and I didn't want to go back to the start. And
do
then I
it
was
all
like,
over
and then
again.
I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, every one of these games, there's got to be. I'm trying to find it still. In every one of these games, there has to be a fucking spell where you can get your magic back. And then I realized like, oh fuck. So then I went through, and I will say though, that fucking tower broke my habit of not using magic because I got so used to using it in there that I was like, fuck it, magic's fucking pretty badass in this game.
and like especially like if you go in there, kind of knowing like that's one of the towers that you go into that you have to be kind of more prepared. It's usually one of the last things I do when I go in there.
That magic tower, yeah. See, there is 14.
There's 14.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's what I thought. So I got them all. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot Shadow. He's the coolest one. Yeah, I fucking
Shadow also sucks. All his stats are bad.
Shadow does suck. He's just such a badass
His character?
I made him into my Dragoon.
Okay,
I gave him jump,
Okay.
gave him like a powerful attack, and was like, "Good enough. You're my fucking, you're my Dragoon." So, but he's just too cool of character to not take. Like I remember the first, like every time you hear that,
slit his mama's
music,
throat for a nickel.
yeah. He like once I realized he had a dog.
Yeah,
And then the dog helps you sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this guy's pretty dope.
And that's Realm's dad too, right?
Shadow is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a thing where if you stay in inns with him, he has dreams about his past.
Oh.
And
This game's so big.
there's so much
I didn't know
shit
that.
in it. Yeah.
This game's so big.
Yeah, you fuck, I totally forgot about that until now too.
I thought Strago was her like
No, that's her
grandpa.
Yeah, her grandpa.
So he's Shadow's dad?
No, Shadow. In the all the sequences, it shows like Shadow's past life, where he was like a big thief and kind of like a huge asshole, and he ends up getting screwed over by the Empire, and like left for dead, and he ends up in that village of the Magi, and he falls in love with Realm's mom.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Can you like see his face or anything?
Yeah.
Or is he still in
Yeah.
his like
No.
Oh,
Yes.
I have to YouTube that because I'm not going back now. I'm so close to being done this fucking tower. I'm not going back. But I'll YouTube that.
Yeah,
I didn't
you go
know
to
that.
like a bunch of different. You basically just go like travel the world and try to sleep in like every inn
dude.
with him. Yeah,
That's so rad. Like it's
And
so
it's
cool.
like
that-
happens like randomly.
That's so sick. They managed to stuff so much in there. Like,
Yeah.
because like you're right. Like I mean, I won't lie to you. There's a couple of characters. I think Shaylee's home. That's my dog barking. There's a couple characters that I think are kind of like the fucking Sasquatch. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. And then that Go-Go dude. I guess the mimic thing is cool. Like I didn't realize he was powerful.
So-
Is there a backstory to him?
No,
No. You just find him in a cave and he's like,
no.
yeah, I'll come with you.
Yeah, basically he's just like. Well, I mean, there's lots of characters throughout Final Fantasy that are like that.
Yeah, they are. Like I call them the Kate Sith of like whatever. Because I know like
Well,
Kate Sith has a story,
so,
but
yeah.
I hate him. I fucking hate that character.
Well, who's the one in 9? Quinna.
Yeah, that fucking
the
fat chef.
Yeah.
He's the crappiest character.
Again, man, those blue mages.
Yeah.
Like he ends up getting like some crazy powerful spells, and you're like, what? How do you?
Yeah,
Like there's like a combo you can use where you can bring him down to 1 health, and then you could do another thing where you like just smoke everyone for like 9,999.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like I almost find it overwhelming because I fucking would like Google before I went to Kefka's Tower, I Googled it. And I was just like, what else am I missing? And I usually hate looking up guides or
Yeah.
walkthroughs, but I'm like, this game, like RPGs are fucking huge. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have the patience to
To
fucking
search
grind
every,
and
yeah.
walk through all the random encounters. So like I looked and I was like, I was missing a dragon in that underground castle
Yeah.
that I had to go down and fight. And then I had to fight Doomgaze, who I was to the point where he was so easy, like, because I was so powerful by the time I ran into him.
There's another crazy thing in that that you could do if you're like, man, I really just don't want to deal with some of these bosses. You could just be like, vanish and then X zone.
Yeah, I read that too. Yeah, that like,
You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. X zone.
yeah, I read that against the, like, when you're grinding against the dinosaurs,
Yeah.
that you can do that and just like
And
pop,
get-
pop,
so, yeah,
pop.
yeah.
So I didn't. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everyone that listens to this podcast knows about our illustrious CEO, my dog Molly. But the other silent partner behind the scenes is my wife. And let me tell you, my friends, a 17-year relationship with another person that has to talk to and live with you is a lot harder to maintain than one with a dog. We've had our ups and downs, and as you all know, a relationship isn't all sunshine and rainbows. They can be a lot of work. You get out what you put in when it comes to relationships, and talking to a therapist can be a fantastic way to put in some work. They can help you work through your issues, learn to communicate better, and even just provide you with an ear to bend when you need it. I've talked to my therapist about my relationships, especially when it came to my stand-up comedy career and how much I was away from home, and they helped me work on ways to keep my relationship strong even when I was out on the road. It turned out our relationship was actually better when I was out on the road, but that's a story for another day. And I know, right? Therapy. Who has the time these days? BetterHelp hears you, and they're making it easy. Fill out a quick form online, and they'll match you up with a therapist that suits your needs and that'll work around your schedule. You pick the meet times, and you can get your therapy fix from anywhere, over video, phone, or just chat. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. Do that. I wish I had now.
And then there's another thing too, I think, against the dinosaurs is they don't have any magic. Is that the one I'm thinking of? No, there's a different place where you fight these like tumbleweed things.
Yeah, okay.
And they don't have any magic. So all they do is attack. And I think it's a better place to grind to begin, or like to gain,
because you get more MP there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go in there, you like vanish all your guys, and you just walk in and hit them.
Oh, see, I found that to be the harder part of the grinding, was trying to get their magic up.
Yeah,
like to gain levels was fucking easy. And dude, like you throw like Sabin, you throw one of the I want to call it materia, but you throw one of the espers that like up your strength on him.
Yeah,
and then just let him keep leveling up. And like he's to the point now where he's dishing out like 20k on one attack with his 8 attack fucking like he's I think.
And then
like,
you give him some of those like, you know, the ones that do like added damage, like they're elemental and stuff.
Yeah, he's a fucking hoss, man. Like he's the fucking, those two brothers are tanks. Both of them.
Edgar, man.
Edgar and that drill.
Oh, the drill is amazing. The chainsaw.
The chainsaw. Yeah.
The chainsaw.
So, like, when you were a kid, did you like find all this shit on your own, or did you like look up how to do some of it? Or
when I was a kid, I actually had a friend of mine who knew like lots of it, and then there was a lot of it we like. You would see like, oh, there's so many Esper spots,
right? So
you would just be like, there got to be somewhere, so
right.
you just end up doing stuff.
See, and like I love, like, I mean,
I know we've talked. I've listened to your podcast before. Before you just had to like, your friends had to do something.
Yeah. It like, because you're right. Like that was one of the cool things. Like I was like that with two. Yeah. It was my buddy and I would both be like, dude, did you go here? Like, did you go here? Like find this summon, like find this, you know what I mean? But like in 6, like it's maybe I just don't have the patience now because I have other games I want to play. And I was like, I don't have another like 30 hours to fucking grind. But there's so much, like I didn't get everything. I know I didn't. There's so much to find in this fucking game. And it's so cool when you find something that like you didn't know was there.
Yeah.
Like when I didn't do any homework or anything, and I just go looking by myself and like come across something, I'm like, wow, like this is That's such a cool feeling, like
Yeah.
to find something in that game. Every time I discovered one of those dragons,
Yeah.
I was like, they're all so easy. They're all
Yeah.
pussies. But I was like, this is so cool, like just to find
they make
stuff.
them sound so badass too.
Right? Yeah. Like the only one that gave me any trouble at all was the one at the Opera House.
Okay.
And I just wasn't leveled up enough to like, and I still beat him, but I was like
oh man,
that was a fucking battle. Yeah.
the one underground. Actually, that whole underground dungeon was fucking hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like one of the hardest dungeons.
Yeah, it
That's what
is.
I remember. It's like you go. I definitely cheated and used the Moogle charm to go down there.
See, what is that? I didn't do that
Okay,
either.
so it's a relic that's only for Mog, and you equip it on him, and you don't run into any enemies.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
that's why I asked when you were like in Kefka's tower, like
Cocksucker. I like
are you
literally
using that because he's like just a free guy.
As soon as I get home from the show you and I are about to go to, I'm gonna fucking throw that. I think even have it like throw it on him and then just be like, okay, let's finish this fucking game.
Yeah, right. So
'Cause I'm
then,
so close.
So then, like, instead of having to level up like 12 guys, you only got to do 8. So you
Yeah.
have like 2 really powerful guys, and you can just throw anyone in the end.
Yeah. Which is like, well, that's what I did
And
with
then like
Mog. He's dead
and then,
weight.
all you got to do is like beat like one of the statues. So yeah, it has to be
Right.
powerful enough to beat one statue. And I
Right.
think if there's one of them, you can even vanish next zone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then you just can't get like the items after.
Sure.
Right.
But honestly, I'm even to the point now where like I'm finding items and I beat the one statue and got something for him and I'm just like, I don't care. Like my team.
The Atma weapon, fuck, that sword is awesome.
Yeah, I didn't get that one yet. I don't remember what I got from him, but I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm like, I'm strong enough now. Like, I don't
Yeah.
need anything else. It's pretty dope, man. It's a pretty fun game.
I remember the first time I beat Kefka too, like the final one, because he's like 2 or 3 bosses.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
But it's just like so much Ultima, and then it's like cast Life 3 on everyone. Now Ultima,
Yeah.
and as soon as someone dies, like cast Life 3 on them. It's
Yeah.
just like, well, no, I don't really.
in hind, yeah, like when like I mean, and I don't know if maybe that's an effect of like over grinding or not.
Yeah.
But it is to the point where you like even right now I'm like, I mean, it's fun because I'm winning, but it's not hard. Like it's
No.
just like dual cast Ultima, mimic it, and then like attack, or else they all know Ultima, so it's like just keep throwing it at them.
Yeah.
And it's like it's you're kind of just playing it out now for the sake of playing it out. But I've invested like 50 hours in these little fucking characters. I need to save their little world now.
Oh, I was gonna tell you about that cheat. I actually wanted to talk about this with that like raft thing where you go around in circles. It ends up if you like playing and laughing at some of the shit that goes on because you broke the game. You do the raft thing and then you do Loki's thing where he goes and saves Celeste.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like, I'll protect you. But like, she's like 50 levels ahead of him.
Oh yeah, because when you
and she knows like Ice 3 and shit.
yeah, and he's just like a shitty little thief.
Yeah, and then like he did because he every other character you get after that point is always like a higher level.
Yeah, they come in leveled up, right?
Yeah, they come in leveled up.
He that's awesome. I didn't think of that. So then you would totally just fucking crush the game.
Yeah,
It'd be
you
a
totally
walk in the
crush
park.
the game. Yeah.
He it's funny because like he's probably my second favorite character after Shadow.
Yeah.
But he kind of sucks too.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't like. I mean like. He's not really that strong. Like he just kind of like I don't know. He's like I use him for a mage. Like I have so much magic on him now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of thieves. Even when I play like my D&D group, they're like, "Hey man, you want to play?" And I was like, "For sure." And they're like, "Okay, you can be any kind of character you want except for these ones because they're already in the party." And I was like, "Cool, can I be a magic user?" They're like, actually, no, we've got lots of magic. They just kind of like kept restricting my things. So you're like, "You want to be a rogue?" And I was like, "I'm always a fucking rogue." So I'm like always the thief, and I always kind of always gravitate towards them when I play them anyways.
Yeah.
They're just real easy characters. They end up getting you tons of stuff.
He does get a lot of like I use him because you can equip him to where he attacks and steals at the same time.
Yeah.
So he's pretty handy. Like it's not like there's anything wrong with him. And like I say, I like him as a character.
His function's way different than any other characters.
Yeah. Because that's one of the things with this one too. Like I mean, again, playing Final Fantasy 2 is cool because like there were like this character only knows black magic or white magic or whatever. But in this one, like every character is so. I mean, it kind of takes away from the originality of them when you can teach them all any spell you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, because like dude can. Is it Loki or Locke? I always say Locke.
I always say Loki.
Loki. Well, he can steal.
Yeah.
Which is handy, right? And like you're right. Shadow's got throw.
Yeah.
Throw can like, and that's the other thing is like I'm almost at the end of the game right now and I have so much shit to throw. So I'm like I better start throwing some shit. Like
you're like, oh man.
But he's a cool character. Like I think he's a wicked story.
I thought it was way better when he had the dog. And
yeah,
if you realize that Realm's his daughter, that's why his dog goes in.
Oh,
to save her.
Because I do remember that part's really like.
You're like, why would his dog just take off?
Yeah, but like because he like likes her and stuff, right?
Yeah,
which I thought was so cool. Like I love that. Like that's just the little things that like I don't remember any game really doing that before this one, where like Shadow's like, hey, don't touch him. He bites.
Yeah.
But then he like loves this little girl, and Shadow's like, well, that's fucking weird. Like my dog hates everybody, but loves this little kid. Like I think you're right. He's kind of a useless character as far as combat, but he's like one of the coolest.
Yeah, his backstory is like way
guaranteed. Like if you fucking poll diehard Final Fantasy fans on like their 5 favorite characters, Shadow's going to show up on an overwhelming majority of them. Like he has to.
Yeah.
Like he's rad. Locke is cool. I don't really like him for fighting.
Yeah.
Edgar and Sabin are fucking
they're the best
monsters.
Tanks.
Fucking monsters. They're both just hosses. And I think Sabin especially is so cool. Like and he like
I thought Terra was so good up until the World of Ruin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, she changes into this Esper and she gets like super powerful, then everyone else seems to just get way better than her for some reason.
Because you can't go get her till you have like pretty well everybody else, right? And then at that point, like everyone's so powerful. Yeah, because I agree with you the same thing. In the first half of the game, she's like your go-to. Like she's a monster. But yeah, in the second half, like I've barely used her in the second half. I'm like, you're a shitty Celeste.
So can we talk about how Kefka is hands down the best villain in any Final Fantasy?
I agree with that. And people that are listening to this, I guarantee you, someone's listening to this and they're like, "What about fucking Sephiroth? What
Fuck Sephiroth compared to Kefka."
I was gonna say compared to Kefka. Sephiroth is dope, but he's not Kefka.
No,
Kefka's such a psycho.
He's just so evil.
Yeah,
and he cares nothing about anyone, and all he wants is power. And you're just like the first game where you're like, oh man, is this really happening,
dude? When he poisons the water, you're like, dude, this guy's a dick. And then like I love how they legitimately make you feel bad for like Cyan and his family and everything like that. But then and I kind of forgot this happened because I hadn't played it so long. When he like kills off fucking what's the old guy's name, his like the emperor or whatever his name is, and like takes over the statues, and then like the world gets destroyed, and then Celeste wakes up like in this shack, and you realize like the world is fucked. You're like, and I was like, dude, this guy's a badass. Like he fucked everybody.
Like, he like right at the beginning, they established him as such a like I will do anything to get what I want character when he like lights that castle in the desert on fire.
Yeah.
Right, and then like comes out with that laugh, like one of the only sound bites in the fucking game. Like
it's so good.
You're just like, this guy is fucking bonkers.
Yeah, he. I mean, I haven't played all the Final Fantasies, but I've played about half of them. Mostly like I didn't play any of the L9 ones or anything. Yeah. But like he's the greatest villain in Final Fantasy history. Like I don't even think there's a question. He's such a fucking psycho. Like
so crazy.
And like he stabs his own party in the back. Like he stabs everyone in the back.
Like,
he doesn't give a fuck about anybody. And he's powerful as fuck.
Yeah. Like when he like kills Leo in that magic town.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he just goes upon like killing Espers and be like, I'm taking all your power.
Yeah.
You can't fucking stop me.
He's like laughing at them, killing them all. Like,
He's
and they do like better than any game I could think of, maybe even on like the Super Nintendo period. They do such a good job of establishing this like broken world.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when we did Link to the Past on here, we were talking about how when you go to the Dark World, like, you're like, dude, this sucks. Like, it seems so miserable compared to Light World. But Final Fantasy III's Dark World it's definitely a world of ruin. Like, it is.
Everything is just broken down,
Like-
and everyone's in despair.
Yeah.
Right?
Like they really like. I do feel like the mood lightens once you get more of your team together and you have the
Yeah.
airship, and you're like, you can still go into the airship and the same happy music plays, and you're like, we're in the airship, everything's fine. But like when you're walking around that world, especially when you first like start traveling around it,
Yeah.
you're like, this fucking sucks,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, man.
And they really do make you feel like we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like he ruined everything.
Yeah, like buildings are just collapsing.
Yeah, you go
and-
to towns and people are like, the tower shoots light at us or whatever. And then like where you go to the town where Terra is, and there's like the little kids that don't have families anymore.
Yeah.
And they show the clip of like all their parents getting killed by Kefka's magic and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like
And they're like so scared of that monster showing up like all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And then Terra won't do anything to save them.
yeah, it's really like the atmosphere for like a 16-bit game with no talk and minimal music and shit like that. Like they do such a good job of making you be like, but like right now I'm going through this tower and part of me is like, come on, let's just fucking get this done because I want to see the end of the game again. But part of me is just like that motherfucker, like let's get him because he like look what he did.
Yeah, he and all just to be, like to want to be a god, right? To be more powerful than anything that ever existed, to take all of their power.
Yeah.
And he fucking did it.
He did. Like that's the cool thing. Oh yeah, because that's the part where they talk about when they're up on the floating island and they're like these three statues are set up in a way to like neutralize each other's power. And then Kefka starts pushing the tower, the statues, and everyone's like, "Don't
no.
stop!" And it's like you're reading, like you're watching this 16-bit game and you're reading the text and like. With your imagination, you can like see it like as a movie where everyone would be like, "Dude, like stop it!" And he's like, "No, like I want the power," and it's like it's gonna kill everybody.
And he's like, I don't care.
And he does it.
No. Oh.
Dude, that's a good point. He's a fucking fantastic villain.
Oh.
Like he's such a. I mean, like a lot of the characters are great. Like a lot of the hero characters are great as well. But
like I even to a point, like I got like the Emperor's bad guy character and how he still wanted to manipulate people to go after power, but he was never anything like Kefka.
Even he was like, okay, that's enough.
That's enough,
yeah,
right?
Kefka kills him. Kefka just kills him. Is like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because like the first time I played it, I kind of thought Kefka would be the one to be like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
And instead, no, he's overthrowing everybody.
Yeah, you kind of think like, because Kefka's like the second in command or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't realize that Kefka's actually pulling all the strings.
Yeah. It's a great game, man. Like it's you're right. It's I'm happy you said that, and that it wasn't like a fight that he's the greatest villain of all time. I know it doesn't make for as interesting a podcast when we agree, but you're right, he is.
No, like I will debate anyone on that. Like other characters, like we talked about Sephiroth trying to be like, he was a great character.
I think,
and you could almost sympathize with him and why he was the way he was.
Yeah,
and then you get that kind of sense like, oh, this is a guy and things went wrong for him and it went this way.
Yeah,
but with Kefka, you get like no backstory. He's just all crazy.
You're
like, we actually need to stop this.
Yeah,
guy.
he's like the Final Fantasy Hitler. Is Kefka? Yeah, the Sephiroth is more cool.
Yeah,
than like Sephiroth is cooler than Kefka.
Yeah.
Like Sephiroth has that badass to him with the sword and the hair and everything.
Yeah,
I would do a separate of these on 7. But Sephiroth is legit.
I would do
sweet.
any Final Fantasy. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for maybe like the online ones and 13.
I didn't play 13.
13 I won't do.
And I didn't play 15 either.
I have issues with that one.
13.
So many issues.
So would you make this one your favorite?
No.
Which one's your favorite?
9.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say like my top 3 are 4, 6, 9.
Okay,
and
mine are 9, 6, 12.
Okay, I didn't play 12. Wasn't 12 online? No. Okay, I never played 12.
12 had like a different game mechanic where you could. It was like you actually walked around a world.
Oh.
And you could. You controlled like one main character, but you could switch just whenever. But then you could also set up a system where they did things in a priority list.
Oh, I understand.
So you like
attacking is their priority.
Yeah, so you could be like heal at if a character drops below this much health, it's like number 1.
See. Okay.
And then it'd be like attack nearest or attack. I usually go like attack enemy with the lowest amount of hit points.
Right.
And
That's
then,
cool.
Yeah.
See, I don't know, man. It's fucking. It's funny because a lot of people put this one at the top of the Final Fantasy list. Like if you read the best Final Fantasy games,
I
think 6 is pretty unequivocally considered the best by most people.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I put 4 ahead of it is because I have the nostalgia for it more as a kid. But like I will say, like if I have one knock, the two things I have that I am like about with this one is I don't know how much I like the fact that you can teach everyone every spell, because it does take away from the like specialty of certain people.
It was a definitely game changing dynamic.
Yeah,
especially for Final Fantasy.
For sure, it was. Like I mean, in Final Fantasy 4, like certain characters could learn certain magic, and that was
well, that's like the standard RPG formula.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you are this kind of character.
Yeah.
That way, only you can learn things in this realm.
Whereas, like, this one, it was like, you can teach. Like, I mean, everyone still has their specialty abilities, but honestly, by the end of the game, how many of those special abilities do you really use?
Yeah,
you use Edgar's drill maybe if he doesn't have Ultima, which mine he does, so he's using Ultima. And like,
I had a lot of fun just running around with Edgar's tools. Like Bioblaster was amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing item.
His at the beginning of the game, when you get him and he has auto crossbow.
Crossbow.
you're like, dude, you're my star.
Right.
Like nobody's
doing anything.
Nobody beak off at Edgar. We need him. He can shoot everybody. Like.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much I liked that. I liked it. I think if you gave me the option, I would prefer established classes.
But I mean,
certain not.
At any point, you could have been like, "Fuck, teaching
You're
magic."
Right. You're right. I could have. But then I was like, I want to be. I was like, I'm like Kefka. I was like, I want to be gods. I want to walk around and be gods and beat everybody.
Well, that's the beauty of this kind of game is you could do that, or like you could take characters and like present your own challenges.
Yeah.
So you could be like, I'm only going to teach, say, Sabin fire moves.
Right.
Like he's only going to learn things like that.
Sure. Like
that go along with that. Maybe you
never thought of
cross him a little with lightning because those are the moves he uses.
Yeah.
He doesn't use any like water.
You could choose
stuff.
that only certain characters have white magic and stuff like that. I never thought of that. Yeah, I guess so.
So
it how many characters do you need to go to Kefka's? Like, can you go in with 3? Or no, I guess you need to get Setzer.
Yeah, you can go in with 4.
So you could go in with just those 4.
Yeah, and if you go in with just those 4, it's a different ending.
Holy fuck! You'd have to like.
You'd have to grind so hard.
You would have to grind because you'd have You'd have 2 parties of 1.
Yeah.
Oh fuck that.
Yeah, man.
I do think.
So I mean, there's all kinds of replay value.
Yeah,
there's all kinds of challenges that you can set up, right? Like I play a lot of Pokemon, and I do this thing where I can only catch 1 Pokemon per route. Or per dungeon, and then if my Pokemon faints, he's gone. You know.
Oh, you do it like Fire Emblem style, where like once they faint, they're dead.
They're dead.
Oh wow!
So like I bring in my own strategy.
That changes it a lot. That's a good idea.
And like so you're like, I really need a fire guy. And you're like, oh man, I finally got one. And you try to level him up, and he gets toast. You're like, well,
fuck yeah, I never thought of doing it that way. That's a good idea, because like I will say, like my other criticism kind of with it was just that like, and it's totally my own fault for grinding so much. But I'm like, this is easy now.
Yeah,
like it is easy, and I enjoy that in a way, but then in another way, I'm like, it shouldn't be this easy. Well, like you said, like the final fight's just gonna be like Ultima, Life 3, Ultima. It's gonna be a walk in the park.
Yeah, I'm playing 9 right now, and I've never done the completionist stuff for it. And I'm going through and I'm like getting everything, and they're like, oh man, make sure you're ready for this boss fight, and I'm like, it's a joke.
Yeah.
So I figured, like just trying to get everything, you inadvertently grind.
Yeah, and that was the thing, and that's where I eventually had to walk away, because I do the same thing with Pokemon, with all those things. I'm like, oh, I gotta like, I almost fucking get to the point where I don't enjoy Pokemon because I have so many, and I'm like, I gotta like train all of them, and it's like just pick your fucking team, power up a couple extras in case you need certain classes, and just fucking go. And that was where I hit a point with this game where I was just like, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna sit here and fucking level up everybody any further.
So next time you play it, go through and be like, I'm only doing this.
I will do that,
right? Or don't teach some guys magic, right? Because they don't need it.
Yeah, like Sabin would be probably your most valuable character even without magic,
right?
Because he's so fucking strong.
Or be like, just give them certain things.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
Yeah, or like use the espers to like level up their stats, but just never use their magic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good idea. Because like it's like when you get out of a fight, dude, when all 4 of your characters know Cure 3. Like when I have Sabin, I never use his magic in fights because I'm going to use his 8 attacks, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just use his Cure 3 to fill everybody up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't care about your magic points. I'm never going to use it. But you're right. That does almost it doesn't break the game as they put it in, but it makes the game really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good idea.
It's like a choose your own difficulty.
Yeah, what a great game. Like, seriously, what a great fucking game. I was like, I didn't start playing it until you and I started talking about doing a podcast about it. I was like, okay, I want to replay this. Like, I'm going to be serious about replaying this fucking game. And I probably put about 50 hours into it.
Okay.
And I had so much fun. Like, I was like, this game deserves all the praise it gets. It's so good.
The storyline's amazing. Like, you really, really feel for the characters. Except for that fucking opera scene.
You don't like the opera scene?
No, I hate it so much.
I get what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And then you get to fight Ultros at the end.
Oh.
And he's the best. He's the best.
He's so much fun.
He's like, if Kefka's the best, like, I would love to have seen him, like, join Kefka and just be, like, his lackey.
Oh, man, that would have been so awesome.
Like, near the end, maybe he, like, turns on him or something.
Well, he had that crazy guy, like, he, like, would blow wind at you or whatever, knock your guys out of the fight.
Yeah.
He had that guy at the end.
Yeah, but he's
But
just
yeah,
like,
if he had somehow like joined up with Kefka, that would have been
like it would have been so cool if you fought Kefka, like beat his like first form or something, and it comes out and you're like, holy fuck, that was it. And then all of a sudden you just like Ultra starts laughing and like fucking pulls a switch to like some god machine or something, and Kefka like powers up and he's just like and you're like, fucking octopus. he's the best. The way he keeps popping up and then he just gets angry every time something goes wrong. Like he's the first character I remember being like a cartoon villain.
Yeah.
He's like Final Fantasy VI's Beastly. Like where just nothing goes right for him, but he keeps trying.
He's like, I'm gonna be evil.
Yeah.
But I'm not very good at anything.
He's fucking awesome. Okay, we should that was I like this. I love this fucking game. We should I have people already booked to do Final Fantasy 2 and 7. But we'll do another.
I would do 9.
I would do 9. I only ever played 9 once, one time, all the way through, and I liked it so much that it became. I put it at number 2 after 4 for me. Like it was. I loved it.
The storyline for that game is amazing.
It was perfect. I love the combat. I love the storyline. I love the main character, that little rat guy.
Yeah.
And there's a character named Blank, which I think is really cool. I was like, wow. That was fucking. I was so impressed with that game.
Yeah.
As I was this one. So I always ask everybody from 1 to 10. 10's perfect, and you can give it decimals if you want to. What would you give Final Fantasy?
I think this is a 9.8.
9.8. I'll go like 9.2. It was good though. I fucking like anything over 9 is fucking great. It was like, you're right. Honestly, like talking to you about this and talking about like capping certain characters makes me want to play it again because I'm like, I mean, I'm not going to. I can't. I'm not putting another 50 hours into this game right now. The next time I play it,
yeah, you're gonna be like, man, I'm gonna really try this. And I mean, try it for other things too, right? Like anything where you can teach people things. Like, I'm not gonna teach anyone anything.
That's a good idea because I can't help it. I want to teach everyone. Like, I love looking at all their magic lists and
seeing how powerful you can make characters.
Yeah, but like the bad guys don't level up with your characters.
Yeah.
So like by the end of the game, like I said, I'm sleepwalking through Kefka's tower now, which is fine. I kind of like that. But at the same time, I love that challenge too. You know what I mean? So
I think people forget when they play RPGs that they can set their own challenges.
Yeah.
Like in my D&D group, guy set challenges like as a character flaw.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's like a cleric. So he could only kill someone, or no, he could only bring someone back from the dead or kill someone if you'd done the other one first.
Oh wow! See, like that's cool. Like that,
right?
like to me, that like adds another level to the game. You know,
right? Like, yeah, he could only kill someone after he brought someone back from life.
I like
that's
that.
what it was. So
yeah, dude, there's so many ways. Like I'm not kidding. I never even thought to play it like in the way you just said with certain magic or like don't equip relics or you can't use certain relics or fucking go try to do it with 4 characters, which sounds fucking suicidal. But that's fucking cool, man. I gotta try, and I'm gonna look up that shadow thing as soon as I get done this because I want to see it. Okay, 9.8, 9.2 gives like a 9.5 average. Final Fantasy 6, fucking play it. It's great.
Play it.
Thanks for doing this, buddy.
No problem. Anytime.
that's going to do it for this week's Remember the Game, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. As I said off the top, I probably said it in the podcast as well. If you have not played this game and you even remotely like RPGs, you're crazy. Check it out. Find it somewhere. It's on the SNES Classic. It's on the 3DS. It's on Vita. It's on... I'm assuming you can probably get it on at least a PS3. It's on anthology discs. It's on fucking phones. It is everywhere. Go play it. It's so good. And Shadow is the best, and Kefka is the best. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. I will be back again next week. If you like the show, please leave us a good review. I'd really appreciate it. Please tell a friend. I would also really appreciate it. And I appreciate you. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later. Cheers.